Hello, creative friends. This is Joy. So I decided to create another art journal page in my Dino Weekly Mixed Media Art Journal. And here I just have a water soluble pencil that I'm just quickly sketching out like a beach scene with a wave. And then I'm stamping some shells on the beach here. So I ended up finding a quote that says, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." So I kind of wanted to do some kind of art journal to kind of go with that saying. So here I'm trying to get these shells stamped on here like in a cluster. And it would have been easier, I guess, to stamp the shell onto a sticky note, cut it out, put it on there, and use it as a mask, but whatever. I managed to get it to work. So I got this new set of gouache that I wanted to play around with and use. And so here I just opened them up and they were all kind of shuffled and around a little bit. But anyway, I pull out some different colors of blue that I wanted to use on the page. And I think I was going to do some purple, but I never did put any purple on here, and some green. And so I put some wax paper behind the page because I want to make sure that I don't make a mess of the pages behind it. And then I just proceed to paint this on the page. Now, this particular paper that this page is made out of really isn't for a lot of wet medium because it started to kind of peel a little bit, so I had to be careful with it. But I still managed to, finish the page, and I mean, it is just a mixed media art journal page, so it's no big deal. It's not like it's a masterpiece or anything. So as you see here, I'm making my wave and I'm spreading out the blue paint. And so the more water I add, the more that I can get it to spread, which is kind of nice. I like that, it's darker underneath, and then I add a little bit more to make it dark and then lighter as you come closer to the shore. So I want to add a little bit of green and into the wave as well. So got that in there and then kind of spread that out a little bit. And then, you know, getting the top of the wave to, look the way I wanted it to look. And then here I'm adding a little bit of white into it because I know that there's like kind of white and sea foam and stuff in the wave. And I tried to scrub in like where the sea foam or whatever would be, but that brush wasn't working, so I got a round brush, and the round brush worked much better, and then it allowed me to add even some more kind of splashes around it, which I liked. And so then I turned to the beach, and so I got this tan color that I thought would work for the beach color, and it was a lot stronger than I thought it would be. So here I'm just trying to spread that out and get my beach laid in here. And then I'm using the white along the edge of the beach, but then I end up, you'll see here in a little bit where I add more white to my palette and then kind of fix the transition from the beach to the water. And so then I decided to use some of these colors that I used in the wave for my shells. So I used that blue, and here I'm using a little bit of the green for the one shell, and I'm adding a little bit of white for some highlighting on the shell. And then for the other one, I use the other color blue, so that way, it all kind of goes together. And then I add a little bit of darker color underneath and a little bit of white over top for some highlights. And then I take some of that tan and add some shadow on the sand around the shells. And then I'll also get a round brush and add some more highlights to the wave. And then here is where I add some to kind of transition the beach to the water a little bit better. And then I also add a little bit of that into the sand, a little bit of the white into the sand. And I add a little bit more of the tan color into the sand just to kind of give it, break it up a little bit and make it look more sandy, I guess. Anyway, ended up, getting it to where I was happy with it, pretty much. So here's my saying, and it's got like this green border around it, which goes with the page well enough. But you'll see here in a minute once I get it cut out, and I decide where I want to put it. Do I want to put it by the shells or want to put it on the other side? And I decided I wanted it to be by the shells, but it covered up too much of the shells and was too close to the edge of the page. So I cut off that green border around the quote so that way it would be smaller and would fit better on the page. And so that's what I'm doing here, just cutting that off. And so then I use a glue stick to glue down. I want to make sure that it's really dry there before I glue down my quote. And here I'm getting a glue stick to adhere that to the page. And then I'll go around that with a little bit of a black pen here. You'll see that in a minute. So this is pretty much the art journal for today. I hope you like it. If you do, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, or you can leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'm also using the black pen here just to kind of go around the shells and add a little bit of detail on the shells, because it kind of got lost with the coloring and stuff. So I'm finishing up outlining the quote, and that's pretty much the art journal for today. Thank you for stopping by and watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.